What's going on, guys? It is me, Flash Jones, back again with another video. And in this one, just got a little layout update. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get to it. Alright, guys. So, as you guys are seeing here in this opening shot, I'm showing you guys here some of the signals that I've put in. This is an Atlas, also kind of formerly known as BLMA, but this is an Atlas cantilever 2-track signal bridge. This is an intermediate signal here on my layout. This is one of the ones that I did customize. If you guys follow me there on Instagram, you will have seen the updates and progress on that. That has been posted. I don't think I give a whole lot of dope on that, but it is posted there on my Instagram at FlashJonesTrains. Simply put, all I did is I took the individual heads that the Atlas now sells, that BLMA once sold, and I just simply placed them onto the frame, the cantilever frame itself, and using some different paints and stuff, was able to kind of disguise the wires. Obviously on the inside track here where the Q train is at, intermodal train, stack train, double stack train, however you want to call it. I call it a Q, and we can always go over stuff like that at a later point. But anyways, where the Q train is at, it's a essentially a two-headed approach to CP, I want to say Champaign, if I remember correctly. And on the outside track, it's just a single head for the outside track. Obviously, because on the inside track at CP Champaign, it is a crossover. So you need to know in advance what you're doing at that signal. And then on the outside track, it's not a crossover. So you're not crossing over or anything like that. You can't cross over. So you only need one signal head on this side to apprise you of that. All right, now looking at it from the exact 180 on the exact flip side of that same signal, is what the signals look like themselves. The Atlas signals look like themselves. Again, what BLMA also looked like previously is your standard right-hand signal bridge cantilever. And you can see, obviously, double-headed on both sides, because at CP Bandini, around the corner there, there's a double crossover there where you can cross over 1 to 2, 2 to 1, and you can kind of see the backside of the approach to Champaign on the inside track there, the backside of those signals. Kind of give you a kind of a close-up once over of this signal here, so you can see what I got going on. You can kind of make out the wire right in here. Probably should come back in and possibly do some more painting on that, but it's one of those things you're never going to see that when we do a cab ride. You guys can see also how I have the wires being funneled through the layout in the center hole there. Okay. Guys, and wrapping around here, the diesel service Bandini DSF here, wrap around the main line here. We're going to come around to see what else I've got going on. So as you guys can see here in the foreground, got some more signals put in, and I wish to God I would have did it before and after to have shown exactly what I did right here in the center of the layout with this new track coming here off the main. I will discuss that here in a minute. But on the signal front, I do have some signals in, and this is what I was talking about when we were back there at the approach, at the approach signal there at the Bandini corner right there, behind the DSF. On the inside track here, you can cross over and go inside to outside. And then obviously on the outside track, since there's no crossover, I place the signal back a little bit further. Give just this block about half of a car more of length. Does it really make a difference? Probably not, but it gives a bit of realism and a bit of interest in the differences and how the layout can be formed and put together. Let's go ahead and put the flash on. Why not? Okay. Also, you guys should see something new here. And if you didn't see it, I'll tell you right now. You guys know about the Santa Fe war bonnets that I got. I did get 4 of those. Oh, look at that X-bracing. That's nice. I've already had these tier 4s. I've also always had the demonstrator for quite a while now. And the newest addition to the layout is these Gevos here from FlashJonesTrains in the City Rail silver, yellow, blue, and black paint scheme. This model is exquisite, people. If you have not seen these City Rail engines up close, they're sharp. The silver is crisp. That blue is just a beautiful accent. And the yellow, it just pops off of this engine. I mean, it really does. So I got both of these are fully equipped with sound and DCC. I have yet to test them. Right now, they're kind of just, I took these out of the box maybe a couple days ago. I got them in the mail probably about a week or two ago. Just haven't gotten around to testing. There will be a review coming on these. It will be kind of an expedited review, if you will, because as far as like locomotive reviews, it kind of seems like everyone's starting to run together. There's not much, if you know about FlashJonesTrains, if you know about the newer engines that are out on the market, there's not a whole lot different going on with them. There are maybe some engine or road number specific details, but there's not a whole lot of changes or differences that are really going on with them all. But I did want to give you guys a little sneak peek at that and give you guys warning or insight that a review will be coming. I'm not exactly too sure when that'll happen, but that's not necessarily high on my list. I've been really wanting to get the layout more in an operational state. Speaking of operational, as you guys can see here, this is the RR Circuits Signal LCCS with one of the terminators inside there. I've been using this one as a tester to test out my signals before I install them. So that's why this was not mounted with the rest of its family down there. But like I said, I've been using this one as a signal tester. I may show how I did that at some point because it was kind of a headache to figure it out. I had to ask. I'm in the LCC group, and those guys there, great group of people in there with some great information on what to do and how to get squared up on trying to get your planted in this LCC world. In addition to the signals, the engines, Bandini DSF here has been fairly the same since you guys have last seen it. I did get around to doing some more painting. Not sure if you guys can see the difference in the shading in the paint there. Nothing fancy at all, just something that I've been kind of dabbling with, using different colored paints and whatnot. It's kind of like that all across the layout where there's brown. You guys can see it. Not that it really matters, but you guys can kind of see it down in here and whatnot. This is just ground initial. It's when I get to that point of adding scenery. This is just that initial layer. It's never going to stay like this. At some point, this is going to be a parking lot for the diesel shop guys here at Bandini. The center area right here where that reverser is at, that will be also paved over, Because again, these two center tracks where the bulk of the engines are at here in the middle. These two tracks will be served as loaners in case the carmen need to get out and service some cars. So pretty much every single track from left to right will be paved over, probably up to where that yellow is, at least. And then yeah, and then like I said, the parking lot where all the nice brown paint has been laid on, that'll probably be a driveway into a parking lot essentially. And then I'm pulling some punches here. I'm not going to divulge all the plans because I want you guys to be surprised when it gets to that point as well. Because obviously you guys can see this is a turnaround type of a layout, and I'm okay with that. It's not as big as I wanted it to be. I had actually plans. If I ever get around to showing you the basement, you will see what possibilities there were. Because the basement that we have in this house that we bought, it is huge. And I mean, my God, if I had been selfish, because the wife had already told me that the basement was mine and I could do whatever I wanted to do with it. Had I been selfish and decided I'm going to put a layout down there and, do my own thing and make that my area, this layout would be easily about 10 times bigger than what you guys can see here. And that's just the whole layout, not just this section, but it literally be much bigger. Nevertheless, but there will be some more things going on in the corners in the layout. But I'm not going to divulge that just yet. Of course, like I said, Bandini DSF, this will all be paved over. As I get further into the video, like I said, at some point, I've kind of already I've completely maxed out this year's budget, and I've kind of cut into next year's budget because the signals have been disappearing as far as being in stock. So I've been kind of trying to scoop up everything that I need now, even though I still need about 10 to 12 more of these signal LCCs. God, it's a lot of money that's got to get spent to put the layout into a fully operational phase. But one step at a time, one day at a time. Again, I do apologize for the lack of updates. I took a break because I couldn't, as you guys can see, I have more cantilever signals to cover the control point there at Bandini, Bandini right there. And I was talking to Scott Goethe there at Atlas, and it's kind of like this one right here. Sorry, I moved a little fast. This is the template that I was able to cut out off of a sheet of paper. And the first template that he sent me, or at least maybe my printer just didn't get the settings in that I needed it to be, but the template was too small, and the holes were too small, and the legs, the pegs from the signals, they did not fit into the holes that were drilled. The base, it was just, the square was too small. So I literally had to pull all those wires back out, and I was so just discouraged by having to pull all of those wires back out that it made me not want to continue building my layout, because I was feeling in my heart that I had damaged the wires. And if you guys know anything about signals and the wires, they are so tiny and just kind of a pain sometimes to deal with, depending on what your application is. And I thought that I had damaged the wires. Thanks be to God, I did pull that signal out, and I did test every single one of those signals back there, so they are working, or else I just would not have put it back in, and I would have had to figure out how to get that those signals over there to an operational phase. Nevertheless, they are fixed and they are put back in. And from that day, literally after I retried to get it all planted or placed onto the layout, I've been literally, like, I felt like I've been recharged, reinvigorated, if you will. And I've kind of went balls to the wall here, and getting my signals in. So these are two of the other cantilevers that I have that are placed in. Obviously a nice little Q train sitting here on the main, going around the Bandini DSF there.
Folks, sorry for the abrupt change in direction, but Video was starting to get a little long. Ergo, this concludes part 1. Stay tuned for part 2